Okay, Maya. Well, first of all, thanks for joining me. If you don't mind, sort of introducing yourself, and then getting into a little bit about your background and what you did professionally up to the role that you're in now.
Oh yes, thank you. Great to see you, Mike. Thanks for doing this with me.
Yeah, you got it.
So I've been in corporate America. Initially, my career started as a scientist, then human resources, talent development, became a certified coach because I love helping people figure out what is next for them in their career, in their life, or wherever they find themselves, going through a change in their situation and really just enjoy helping develop, helping to grow, and just opening up minds to see what's possible. So I just love the coaching space. I think in my heart, I've always been a coach until that name kind of appeared in my vision field and became certified in it. And so I've been a coach for 15 years and decided to build my own business actually many years ago, but really serious about it about a year and a half or 2 years ago. So what I do now, it's a combination of somewhat traditional career coaching combined with the leadership and executive coaching background that I have. But it also involves life and grief because most of the people that I work with are finding themselves either at a loss or at a change in their career. There's something that's not quite right. And we're trying to get to the bottom of what we need to do to change it and make things successful again, right? How can I empower people to help them excel? So it's really just helping others become empowered and self-sufficient. That's what my passion is now. So it's kind of departing a little bit from the traditional career path into what other opportunities are there, right? For someone to build a career, make a living, and just find their passion as well as build some good income, some equity and wealth for themselves. What does that look like? How can you still feel like you're making a contribution, you're having an impact, and also have it be rewarding for the individual, for my client?
Sure. Awesome. And I'm sure a big part of that is really getting to know what their goals and skills and I think maybe important personality traits and then dreams are down the road. So
Yeah,
what is your process for kind of learning about them as people and
yeah.
then guiding them towards kind of the right fit?
Yes, absolutely. So it is all about defining. We call them ILWE goals, so income, lifestyle, wealth building, and equity building goals. So this is a complementary coaching and educational journey, right? So initial conversations will be all about the client's aspirations and goals. What do you see yourself doing? What is it that you still want to achieve? How would your work life fit in with the rest of your life, right? We spend a lot of waking hours and time at work in our profession. Wouldn't you like it to be something that you really enjoy doing, right? And some people have some thoughts around that. Some people come to me, they have no idea. So initially, we use some coaching tools, some assessments to figure out what's your preferred work style? What's your communication style? What are your skills and strengths? What opportunities do you see right now in your career, in the market? And what are some of the dangers that you see too? Like, what are things you're concerned about, right? We kind of try to pinpoint those down. It's really an exploration journey. And initially, it's all about the client, right? Where do you want to go? We need to clarify that vision first. That means knowing where we are right now and then knowing where you want to go. Before I make any kind of intelligent recommendations or
Right.
suggestions, I do want to get to know my client, right?
Sure.
It is understanding, first of all, for them, to that point of clarity. What do you see next? And then how do we get there?
Sure.
So the education is first about themselves. Awareness and growth happens in those initial stages. And then it is around self sufficiency, business ownership, and helping them learn about some models. How can these potential avenues help you get where you want to go, right? Can you see yourself doing this?
Sure.
Um, so it's really asking all the right questions to get to that point of clarity. That's what this is all about.
Sure, absolutely, and I think so. Obviously, really important to get to know the client themselves as a person, but also I think there's this really big world of different opportunities and franchise models as well, like you've sort of
Yeah.
mentioned, and that can I think probably be daunting for someone coming
Yeah.
into the process to not really have any context to who
Yeah.
those models are or what a day in the life in that model will look like. So,
For sure.
how important is it as well for you to just sort of I think distill that all that information into something bite-sized for your clients too.
Oh, absolutely. So I bite size, that's a good way of putting it. It's really I work at the pace and the speed of the client. Some people come with a lot of knowledge into this. And then there's some people who've never even heard of what do you mean by business ownership? What is franchising? What is investing? And it's just a lot more education. So I meet them where they are, basically. And then we together ask questions. So what is this business model in the first place? Industry, how does it fit with you and your background? How does this space relate to your ILWE goals, your income, lifestyle, wealth building, and equity goals? And are there some limitations that you see, right? What if there are gaps? How do we bridge them? And then it's around explaining the model. Does the client see themselves more in a business to business type of working space or in a business to consumer space? Do you want to find something that's full time, or are you looking more for like an investment opportunity, or maybe part-time, building something on the side while you're still pursuing your existing career? Or maybe some people already have a business, right? And they're just looking to expand and grow into something new. How can I help them bridge the gaps? What is the kind of information that we still need to know and learn?
Right.
And then also, what does support look like, right? Franchising is you're buying a business in the box.
Sure.
What does that box look like? What is the support that they're getting when we talk about, the marketing that maybe is there? Is there structure around it? What about social media support? How does the franchisor help the client be successful? What about the technology platforms that they use? What's all involved? The training around that? Um, if they're working with a team, leading a team, is there hiring support? If it's a brick and mortar, is there real estate support, right? Is there a team that helps them understand all that? There's a lot to learn.
Sure.
So kind of setting my client up for success when it comes to the onboarding, successful launch, but also what does that look like in the long term, right?
Right.
Once they are in business, what does the ongoing learning and support look like? So
Sure.
those are some of the questions that we explore,
Yeah.
and always in mind with what their goals and the vision is and what they're trying to achieve.
Right. Absolutely. And I think sometimes people need to be constantly reminded of those dreams, right? Because I'm
For
sure
sure.
in the decision process, sometimes you forget, and then maybe fear or just overthinking yourself or limiting your what you are looking for can happen. So I'm sure it's really important for you to just remind them, hey, this is what you said your dreams and
Yeah,
goals were. Let's get back to that. Just have a foundation, right, in the
for
process.
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. Um, do you have I'm interested to hear any specific sort of client success story, maybe without naming names, whatever you're comfortable with, but
For
that you
sure.
were able to place, and thus far in their business, they've enjoyed it and they've been successful in it.
Are you asking me a challenge or a
Yeah,
success?
you could do a
Or
challenge, or you can do a success, or you could do both, whatever you'd prefer.
yeah, so great question. I would say I've never met a challenge that couldn't be turned into an opportunity. So I
There
don't
we
know
go.
that I have an example for that.
Yeah.
It's really all about asking the right questions, right? So the goal of this exploration and learning journey is my client reaches their point of clarity. That's really
Right.
what I'm working towards, right? Whatever that looks like for them.
Yeah.
It's either a clear yes or it's a clear no. As long as we're in between, we haven't asked all the right questions, right? It
Sure.
is that clarity. That's where really the win is.
Right.
So, in order to find the right model, I advocate on behalf of my client, and that also means challenging them, right? Stretch them beyond what they think they know right now. Oftentimes the original idea or model that they had in mind is really just based on what they know from past experience. Well, a good coach kind of challenges those assumptions. A good coach challenges limiting beliefs. Just because something happened in the past is that really a predictor of the future, or is that an interpretation that you have, right?
Sure.
A good coach kind of uncovers what holds you back and helps you see your own potential and really what's possible for a brighter future. So I kind of meet my client where they are. So there's never been a challenge that we weren't able to overcome. And
Right.
for some of them, it might just be, okay, this sounds great, but not right now. And that's fine. If it's not right now, then maybe you're in a different space, a few months or years down the road, and we'll reconnect and reassess where you are.
Sure.
As far as successes, I would say, my clients, I have the best clients. Honestly, they just
And they have the
surprise.
best coach there.
Well, thank
Yeah.
you, but they surprise me all the time. I work with incredibly um, insightful and educated, very experienced professionals that are just ready for their next step. And they're just asking, okay, what now? Right.
Right. Yeah.
So just being open to that learning is really, that is key. That's one of the foundational things that I say to my clients right off the bat. Anything goes as long as you keep an open mind. If you can
Right.
commit to that, you and I are going to work well together. If not, you know, you're gonna have to question some prior assumptions. That's really key.
Right.
Um, so as far as success, I mean, there's a couple of them, but one that comes to mind is was working with a senior leader in finance, financial leader, very educated, very experienced, successful in their field, right? Was was successful financially as well. And I guess it was a little bit hard, or it was conflicted to walk away from all that
Right.
success, right? But just was looking for more purpose or something different, just a little bit burnt out.
Right.
And so it was exploring just other opportunities that he knew nothing about. Was open to that, committed to the journey, fantastic. And through a variety of business model exploration, he landed on a um, dog walking franchise,
Okay.
and which was completely different from what he's done up
Yeah.
until this point. So kind of eliminating some of those fears of, well, if I've never worked in it or heard about it, I don't have experience in it, so I can't be successful, right? That's one of the nice things about franchising is that, well, it is a business in a box.
Right.
There is a framework in place. There's a structure. Someone else has already done all the work for you to figure out what works and what doesn't, right?
Right.
How
Right.
can you employ all those learnings for your own success?
Sure.
And helping them understand that you're not alone, right?
Right.
You're in business for yourself, but not by yourself. There, I always explain franchising as the three-legged stool. There's the efforts that you put in, there's the efforts and the resources, the guidance from the franchisor. And then you also have peers. There
Right.
are other business owners, right, that you can pull from, collaborate with. There's always somebody you could call.
Sure.
So really helping them see that this is a different world than what they might be um, used to in the
Right.
past. So yeah, so this person is like very successful in building, and the business is growing. He's
Nice.
actually started hiring a bigger team.
Okay.
Um, it's a great success story and transition journey for sure.
Sure. I'm sure it's very rewarding on your end when you can
Oh,
help
absolutely.
someone get to
Yeah.
that point of clarity, like you said, and
Mhm.
take that step. So, congratulations to him and you on
Thank
that.
you.
Yeah, you got it. And then, I'm sure, and you've sort of alluded to it. Sometimes people have limiting thoughts, or I think also just misconceptions on business ownership and franchising. So, how do you get people over some of those misconceptions that they might have on being their own boss or being in business
Mm,
for themselves or being a franchisee in a model?
right. Yeah. So, gosh, I would say the biggest one is the F word, fear.
Mhm. Yeah.
False evidence appearing real.
Right.
It's the acronym for that, right? So people are afraid of the unknown,
Right.
afraid of failure, of course, right? What if I do fail?
Sure.
Failure of success, right? There's this saying, I think it's from Marianne Williamson. Our biggest fear is not of failure, it's actually of being successful. What if, this was really actually working?
Yeah.
People have fear of change. Maybe the finances get in the way. There's family and friends and all those wonderful people that you have in your life that love you and are concerned and worried about you. And
Sure.
there's all these objections, right? So that there's a lot of good questions that we need to answer in that journey. And
Sure.
it's always about asking the right questions and how to help them just shift the thinking. What are you really working towards, right? It goes back again to the vision and the goals we set initially. So I bring them up periodically in their journey to make sure, is this still what we're working towards, right? So all those fears are often, we spend a lot of time on that.
Yeah.
The myth of passion, right? If I'm not passionate about it, I can't work it or can't be
Right.
successful. Really? Is that, how true is that really, right? If you have a well-established turnkey model and it meets your goals that you set for yourself, it can help you get to your vision, right? How true is that really?
Right.
Um, the right opportunity, when I see it, I'll know it, right?
Yeah. Love at
Really?
first sight. Yeah.
Right. So then I usually say, about 95% of my clients who do end up going in a business, they end up in one that they never even thought of.
Right.
Hasn't occurred to them, or maybe they looked at it briefly and then just dismissed it prematurely. And people are always surprised about that statistic, but it's really, when you're willing to open your mind to what else is out there and exploring the things that you thought you knew but really didn't, um, big opportunities open up, right?
For sure.
Um, I guess the other F is financing. I think I mentioned that earlier a little bit.
Yeah.
Can I really afford this?
Right.
So the whole investing in a business means there is you investing in yourself, right?
Yeah.
There's some sort of funding that we need to think about. How do we go about doing this? It's all part of the educational journey, and a lot of people don't are not aware of the options that are out there. So we spend a good amount of time on that. Helping them work through analysis paralysis when they're just really stuck, right?
Yeah.
This goes back to the fear factor again. What is it that they're actually afraid of? And then it's just around, okay, where's the data, right? A lot of what we go through in this journey is we're basing it on actual factual information and data so you can make the best educated decision that you can make, right?
Right.
Again, I want you to have that point of clarity. I want you to be confident that you can step into this and be successful. If I have any kind of doubts about whether you could be, I see yourself successful, I will ask you that question. I will poke, prod, and challenge. When you're super excited to jump into something, I'm going to be that little voice, right?
Yeah.
Because I care about the success of my clients and I work on your behalf, really. So
Sure.
it's 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 all about having the right information for you to step forward
Right.
into your next success chapter.
Awesome, Maya. Well, I appreciate you answering all of my questions. Is there anything else you wanted to add about yourself, or what you'd like to say to clients before
Mm.
I let you go?
Well, what I want to say is keep an open mind. This is all complementary. They have really nothing to lose. If at any point in your life you've flirted with the idea of business ownership, if you've wondered about what is next or what else you can do, it's just a conversation. That's
Right.
really all. It's risk free. You have nothing to lose.
Sure.
That's all I want to say.
And where can people reach you, contact wise?
Okay. Well, either on LinkedIn, Maja Taylor on LinkedIn, or I have a website, majataylor.esourcecoach.com.
Okay.
My email, I don't know if we can provide that here, is majataylor@esourcecoach.com.
Okay.
And yeah, so lots of mediums that I can be reached.
Awesome. And that's Maya with a J, just to point out.
Correct. It is
Correct.
Maja. Yep.
There we go. Awesome, Maya. Well, I appreciate you
All
joining me.
right.
Thanks for doing this.
Thank you.
You got it.
Appreciate you.
Right. Bye.
Bye.